Hello, welcome to the Ghana Agenda. My name is Alfred Amuzu, and today is May 1st, my birthday month. So I'm super excited today to do this show. Today we are talking about Galamsey and how to solve Galamsey. We'll be looking at the ban. We'll look at Chinese and the impact Galamsey is having on Ghana as a whole, on our water bodies, on our farms, and other sectors. So we'll be looking fully at Galamsey, and I'll be joined by my two amigos. I'm talking about Paul De-Sosoo from the NDC and also Mr. Emmanuel Darko of MPP. We will try to make this a non-partisan conversation. This is going to be a national conversation because this really is a national issue. So we'll tackle it from that perspective. Please share the link. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back and get into the details of our conversation. This is the Ghana Agenda for the 1st of May, 2021, and my name is Alfred Amuzu. We'll be right back.
Hey, this your girl coming all the way from the US of A, ya baby, aka ya phantom. And me di feel a boozing pan and to see one brooch with your money how Ghana mata da romantic. With me sandy provisions, as I such credit Emma Ebusuya phone and for more Ghana. And one is a www.ghanamat.com. And they would say, boy, a sharp connection. www.ghanamat.com. Provisions in the credit na really I have friend numbers na screen Ghana Mat crowd.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the Ghana Agenda. So I am waiting for my guests to join me again. If this is your first time you joining this show, this is a political and economic and financial show. So one of my guests is reaching out to me, so I'm trying to answer that. But yes, so we talk about politics here. We talk about economics, finances. Today we are talking about Galamsey. What do I mean by Galamsey? Galamsey is illegal mining, if you're not familiar with the word. It has been on the rampant in Ghana. This has been with us for a very long time. I was going to tell you a story about where we were before 2008. Before 2000, matter of fact, in 1980, before 1980, gold production in Ghana or mining in Ghana was done strictly by the government. But we decentralized and majority of the private ownership of mining in Ghana is currently owned by foreigners. We also saw licensed small-scale miners who are, regulated in the industry playing a strong role, and then the illegal miners who are, we'll be going into details on today, and we'll be talking about, what can be done in those areas, whether the ban that the government brings every now and then, it's actually going to be sustainable because of livelihoods actually depend on or people's livelihood are now well rooted in illegal mining in our country. So how do we deal with all that? We'll be talking about that. There has been a dialogue launched by the president, and in the dialogue, we'll be getting some discussions about, what went wrong, what should be done going forward. And I have a video from the president that I'll be playing, but that dialogue is currently going on. This was launched on the 15th of last month. So we'll be looking at that video. We'll listen to what the president has to say, whether those are just words, because some are saying that this whole effort or fight on Galamsey or illegal mining is vicious. It's not, it's just in words that in action that, this excavators that get seized, the things they destroy or, say they destroy end up in the field, and that the government is actually losing the fight. So are we just going to sit down and have another talk shop and come up with solutions that would amount to nothing? We'll listen to the president and we'll discuss that. We'll also talk about Ghana being considered in the eye of the international or other countries as Africa's El Dorado. If you recall the story of El Dorado is a Spanish name that was actually used by in the 16th century to describe a Colombian king that apparently covered himself in gold. They used to call him the Golden King or the Golden Boy. So Ghana has become Africa's Golden Boy, sort of. The more the gold prices increase, the more Chinese we see in Ghana, especially. Ghana currently has the most Chinese residents in Africa. Ghana is topping in that chart. And it kind of is interesting how that number goes up as gold prices continue to increase on the international market. And what we are also seeing is that some of the methods deployed by the Chinese and the impact on the environment, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about even conflicts between these Chinese and the locals, and to look at how do we deal with all this in resolving Galamsey in Ghana. I'm going to take a quick break. I think one of my guests is in the green room. When we come back, we'll jump into these conversations. Today, we are going into Galamsey. It's Allah, and I have the best people joining me to discuss that. We will be right back.
Hey, this your girl coming all the way from the US of A, yeah baby, aka yeah Bantam. And me di feel a buzzing pan and to see one virtue the money how Ghana mat ada romantic. With me sending provisions, as I such credit Emma Ebusuya phone and for more Ghana. And one is a www.ghanamat.com. Then they would say, boy, a sharp connection. www.ghanamat.com. Provisions in the credit na really ankasa. I have friend numbers na mo screen na seno. Ghana Mat ye crown.
All right, welcome back to the Ghana Agenda. Again, my name is Emmanuel, and I will be joined today by Mr. Emmanuel Darko, who is a certified public accountant, a certified information systems auditor. So he's in the same field as I am. He also is a spokesperson. I think I keep getting his title right, but he has an executive position in the MPP North Carolina chapter, I think in Charlotte or so. And so he will be joining me. And also, that's Paul De-Sosoo. Paul De-Sosoo. If you watch this show, you already know Paul De-Sosoo. Paul De-Sosoo will also be joining us today. He's from Massachusetts. He's an information systems engineer. Yeah, I think he's the secretary of NDC in Massachusetts. But when it comes to, I will try to correct that. I keep messing their titles up, and I really apologize for that. So let's get into the conversation. I have Mr. Emmanuel with me. Paul De-Sosoo just told me he will be joining us shortly. Mr. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Alfred.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Ghana Agenda. We missed you.
I know. I've been missing in action. And I'm missing
in action. Okay, thanks for joining the show today. I hope you had a great week. We are joined by a lot of people watching you, as you can see. We are talking about Galamsey today. Do you have any preliminary comments? I know Galamsey is devastating our country from economic standpoint, from environmental standpoints, and it's just destroying our country. And I'll be talking about things that we know for a very long time. I think your son is giving me a feedback. So if you can.
Is it me?
Yeah, I think your son. Yeah. Okay, so tell us quickly about your preliminary comments, and then I'll jump into the substantive discussions on Galamsey. We'll also talk about the appointment of special prosecutor, and then the culture of silence that, of course, has been vigorously discussed the whole of last week when Mr. Sam Jonah had said some things. Even Gabby came back and said other things. So we'll be talking about that. Give me your preliminary comments and let's jump into the conversation.
Oh, okay. Alfred, thank you for kind of bringing me back to the show, and I miss our viewers and our listeners so much. I've been listening from afar, another commitment have taken me away. Today's topic, and I believe as your theme for the program is Ghana Agenda. Every ordinary Ghanaian is very concerned what is going on in the country. And you and I, as native Ghanaians, we really have Ghana at heart. And if there is issues that pop up, we need to speak up for it. And that's kind of pinpoint on Mr. Sam Jonah. And I have a history with Sam Jonah. I was born and raised in Obuasi. And the time I was born, Sam Jonah was the managing director for the Goldface. At that time, my dad was a Goldface miner. That's why we end up in Obuasi. So Sam Jonah has been one of my, I would say, those who were, when we were going to school, were someone that we were looking up to as a big man in Obuasi. So for him to kind of come into the news at this time, he have his own flaws, and at those times, he did things that maybe might not be the good interest of the people of Obuasi. But that doesn't stop him from speaking up on the things that are going on in the country. So it's very good that we need to also pay attention to what he is saying. The Galamsey issue. The Galamsey issue is very, very key. Okay. And we have been in
I would suspect that you have a good perspective on what is going on in the industry. You have some experience personally growing up. So
yes, and Galamsey.
How many Chinese did you grow up with?
Can you say that again?
How many Chinese did you grow up with growing up? Because Obuasi was one of the areas most populated, where the Chinese are actually most concentrated in Ghana.
Honestly,
yes.
Honestly, when I was in Obuasi, I never even probably have interaction with a Chinese person.
Really?
Never. Though Galamsey was still there, illegal mining was there, or let me put it, small scale mining was still going on in Obuasi in a very decent way. Like recently, it has been a mess, and honestly, it has been a mess. Even in the NDC government, I was very critical of the government on the way they were collapsing AGA at that time, and I was very, very vocal on that, and how Obuasi became a.
They were collapsing AGA.
Anglo Gold Ashanti.
How were they collapsing AGA?
So basically, and I know we can bring that one into a perspective. Okay, Mahama administration at that time. Small scale mining, NDC government was more supportive of small scale miners. Okay, it's not gonna say small scale miners where they had concession with the AGA. So AGA concession, small scale miners were allowed to mine on those concessions, and AGA was a very employer of Obuasi community. And then the government was not doing much action against the small-scale miners who were taking concession on the land of AGA. So that caused AGA to shut down its operation in Obuasi. And that caused a massive layoff of employees in Obuasi. And literally, if a company which is employed by 80% of the population is shutting down its operation, and the sitting government, which was the NDC government and Mahama government, did nothing about it, Even when Otumfuo was calling to Mama, you better do something about it. And it was very funny that the same parliamentary candidate who lost in Obuasi was the same Ashanti regional minister in Ashanti region, and also backing the small scale miners. So that led into a total shutdown of AGA, which also was small scale miners, not illegal miners, small scale miners, which were very hard to control.
So hold on. Let's go back.
Hey, very interesting, right?
No. What you are saying is your understanding of AGA now being successful and has to be divested, right? Ashanti Goldfields, right? Ashanti, yeah. Anglo Gold of now South African Anglo Gold. So that's it was because the government gave concessions on AGA land, or AGA gave concessions, and therefore they had to shut their business down. Is that what you're saying? I mean,
let me clarify that. So
right,
when the small scale miners were allowed to take concession of a land, okay? So if you say, okay, this side, or maybe let's take the north side of the land is given to the small scale miners, okay? And the south land is given to the AGA to operate on it. But when the small scale miners comes to the AGA land to do their mining,
you can't mine on anybody's concession.
No. So that was where AGA had a problem with it, because the illegal miners, which is the small scale miners, were intruding in their land. Okay. So, and that was where the AGA needed the government to come in to say, okay, hey, this is a security threat. Our people go to the land and they are fighting with Galamsey people, which they have tools and fight them on the land. So that concession land will belong to AGA. So AGA lost that control. That, okay, the government is not showing the inaction of the government. It's kind of telling them that the government is not on their side. And the illegal miners were intruding on the land that they should be having concession to mine on that land, and nothing was done to them. And that kind of caused the frustration for AGA to say, okay, enough is enough. We can't do much here than to what? Exit out. And that caused the total shutdown on the AGA. And not the AGA land, because it was intruded by this small scale miners. And the president at that time, which we can blame and shift whoever is responsible for it. And I know they will have their own good of explanation on that at that time. But it is kind of caused AGA that we can't do much here.
Yeah, so now we are in 2021, okay? We are in 2021. The president has, first of all, in 2017 said he was going to put his presidency on this issue, that he was going to fix it. Just like the former president said he was going to fix Dumso, this current president said he was going to fix the Galamsey issue. He, as a result of conflicts and complaints from the Ghana Water Company, he banned small-scale mining, including even legal small-scale license holders who are mining. He formed the interministerial committee, right? And then there is Operation Vanguard. Equipment were seized. Members of his administration were fingered to be involved in returning those equipments back to the field. I wanted Paul to be part of this part of the conversation, but he's not here yet. But okay, so, I mean, what is going on? It's been 4 years.
Okay.
I mean, and it's the 5th year now, and it seems the president has lost it. This is not working.
Yes. Alfred, and the truth of the whole matter is the government have failed Ghanaians. You and I know that.
You accepted that the NPP government has failed Ghanaians.
Yeah, failed when it comes to Galamsey. But the only thing I can say is Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government did make an effort, did put his presidency on the line, make promise to Ghanaians that he is going to deal with it. See, we lost NPP government, We lost vote on the mining side, and it all attribute to some measures and steps the government took to make sure that we protect the land and the water bodies of Ghana. Okay, but what is the impact, or what can we say when we look back? It has been a failure, and I'll put it in point blank. It is a failure based on basic things. And for me, seeing the water bodies showing, the land being deployed in a level that it is unimaginable, that why would we sit there to this time? Why this now? Once we were in government for 4 good years, what measure we put in place? What is the result? We are not even talking about that. You see, and there is a saying that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
I'm happy that you recognize that the government has failed us. But okay, going forward, what can we do? We know that we currently have, like I was saying earlier, the place where Chinese come to the most in Africa. We are over. Last number I've seen was counting about 100,000 of them. I think we are way past that number at this point. Now, I'm not against Chinese coming to Ghana. I'm not saying that nobody should misquote or quote me as Mr. Alfred Amuzu saying Chinese shouldn't come to Ghana. Chinese should come to Ghana. But as much as I will go to China respecting the rules of China, applying to the government of China and meeting their requirements to be granted permits or visas to visit Ghana, I think that should also happen in Ghana, where the Chinese man comes to Ghana, given visa. We don't find a Chinese man in Ghana because he came to somewhere else, because they are finding people who neither do have visas or even the permits to operate or undertake any mining activity. But we have that going on. So the result is the machines they use. I'm particularly referring to Chinese, because, and there's nothing against Chinese, like I'm saying, but they tend to use very heavy equipment. And this equipment has resulted in what you're seeing on our screen here, which is destruction of our water bodies.
Alfred, let me help you here.
The Ghana Water Company Limited has complained time and time again, and we sit there and we're not doing anything about it. We are dialoguing. We are,
forum.
Yeah, we are doing forum so we can talk about it. So I mean, I can keep going on and on. It's tough. We are losing about $30 billion a year as a country because of this lawlessness, and it's happening under
under the watch
presidents. Yeah.
Alfred, let me help you here. And this one, it just, for me, it is my hope that MPP government will break the 8 and will continue in government. Okay, that's my hope. So if something is not going right, and I have to say it, if you have to keep the government in power, I have to say it. We will blame the Chinese. For me, I will never in one day will blame a Chinese person. Never. A Chinese government can never be blamed. Okay, if even you import a machine, or if you send a car, Alfred, if you send a car from US to Ghana, are you sending it under the authority of the US government to allow you to send the car to Ghana? No. So when you even get to Ghana, who is clearing that car for you? Is it the US government, or is it the Ghana government? Okay, so we sit there, and a Chinese man who is into a business of import and export, and based on the needs of equipment, I'm in the business of leasing equipment to people for their work. If I'm leasing equipment to people for their work, and I'm bringing machines into your country, and for any other reason, and those machines are getting into the hands of the wrong people, why do you blame me for it? You allow me, gave me a permit to bring that machine into the country, and even the land in which the machine is sitting on it, it's not my land. is the land of the country. So why would you put a Chinese into this play? A Chinese person have nothing to do with it. The same thing, and I read something from a Chinese man, a friend of a Chinese guy, as I say, why would it's easy for a Chinese person to come to Ghana and do that? And he asked, can a Ghanaian go to a China to do that? I said, it is impossible for a Ghanaian to go to Ghana, even to do any such thing in China. Why? Because a Chinese government will never allow it.
Okay. So
here is the case. Let me learn. Here is the case. We pretend too much that we don't know. And that's where, for me, that's my frustration for my own government. We pretend that we don't know, and that is sad. National security, defense ministry, interior ministry, and they sit there and pretend that we don't know how this machine got into our land and our bodies, water bodies, and we sit there, we don't know who are behind it, and we sit there and thinking that, oh, this just happened overnight, the waters were destroyed upon. That's where I do not agree with my own government on that. We know it. We saw it. The chiefs, the DCs, the MCs, the MPs in those mining sites knows every single details of activity that's occurring. And we pretend that we don't know.
Emmanuel, listen, the Chinese are building your roads, okay? These guys are giving you all the loans. They have agreements with our government where they sign a memorandum of agreement that they will build another airport, which a lot of people were calling, I would say, the Pram Pram area or so. I know it cost a buzz around 2012 timeframe, but the Chinese are building, all the things in Ghana. We went and signed an agreement with China, the Sino-Hydro, so we call it, right? So you cannot be seen as a government that takes action against the Chinese. So we understand that.
No, that doesn't mean that you should allow some illegal activities conducted by them
in your country. Okay,
yeah,
great.
You cannot see the good cannot be offset with the negative that comes with it. Okay, see, and I agree with you. They are bringing the machine for some other reasons. So it might be for road construction, but it might be sitting on the road construction, but it made it to the forest. That same machine made it into the water bodies.
Let's do this. let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to go to the president. And we'll take a quick speech that he gave to the people guided to launch the dialogue that he has directed all stakeholders involved, including you and myself, to get involved and talk about solutions. And I'm be asking you, since you are from the Obuasi area yourself, what are some of the things that you think should be done? What is Emmanuel's solution for the Obuasi small-scale miner? We'll be right back and we'll talk about all that. Again, you are watching the Ghana Agenda, and my name is Alfred Amuzu. We will be right back.
Hey, this your girl coming all the way from the US of A, yeah, baby, aka yeah, Bantam. And me the fill up bows in pan and to see one virtue the money how Ghana mat other romantic. What's me sending provisions as I such credit Emma Ebusuya phone and the form one Ghana. And one is a www.ghanamat.com. And they would say, boy, a sharp connection. www.ghanamat.com. Let's provisions in the credit. Na very young as Ankasa. I have friend numbers na screen as Ghana Mat ye crano.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
Hello, welcome back to Ghana Agenda. Again, we are talking about Galamsey today. I am joined by Mr. Emmanuel, Darko, and Paul will be joining us very shortly. So let me take a few comments. Dave here, I don't know, I think he said he loves the show. Emmanuel says the government only makes decisions based on its own interests, not on the interests of the country. Okay, so we'll take that. Now, my honorable Ato Komida Danso, who I've missed on the show. Come on, you know, we missed you for a while. So, Mr. Ato is saying, yes, Alfred, Nana has lost the fight. Nana has no clue, and surprise, you have Emmanuel even discussing this. So, according to Ato, we shouldn't even be discussing this at all because the fight is lost. Yes, and it pains me. And it should pain you all. If you are listening to this show and you are Ghanaian, you should be outraged. You should be very unhappy with what is happening to our country. I would bring my other guests into the program. Mr. Paul, are you able to join us now? Okay, great.
Good afternoon.
Paul is on the road. Oh my God! I hope you're not driving and doing this show at the same time.
No, don't worry. I'm okay.
Okay. All right, Paul. Great. So let's get in. Okay. So Paul, I'm going to play a video. Okay, we've been talking about, and of course, I'll let you talk quickly. Give me a little quick comments on Galamsey, a preliminary comment before. But we've been talking about, Emmanuel had, gone into the Mahama era and pulled this whole issue with the AGA and the fact that the administration couldn't act on, small scale miners or small scale stakeholders in the enterprise, encroaching on AGA lands, to which caused a lot of problems, conflicts. That it was contentious. So he's blaming that on the Mahama government, and he's saying that this has been something that has been with us for a very long time, but that governments over time have failed to secure our environment, to ensure that mining is regulated in our country, because it's a very lucrative business. All right. So it doesn't look like this is going to be stopped anytime soon. Give us your preliminary comments, and then let's get into the details of this conversation.
Thank you very much, Alfred, and thank you for inviting me to this show this afternoon. I appreciate it very much. And once again, good afternoon to my good friend Emmanuel, who unfortunately, I don't know why he even joined the show, because he has nothing to say. Looking at the way they've destroyed the environment. Look, my brother, you see, this thing we are talking about this afternoon is a double-edged standard against, or double-edged barreled statement that was made by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was in opposition. I hope you remember, in opposition, in their manifesto, they stated in that they were going to take care of the mining sector and make sure that they stop all the illegal mining, and then make sure that they protect the environment. When this became an issue, Nana Addo went and stood on the political platform and said that he never said that, but rather he is coming to, encourage them, to motivate them to do the mining. So, if you are talking from two parts of your mouth, how do you expect the people to take it serious? The genesis, the root cause of all this thing is as a result of the double standard that Nana Addo took when he was in opposition. One, Muff is saying that he's going to take care of it. When it became an issue, a political issue, he quickly ran and turned his mouth and said, "Oh, you remember that tape? That tape is there. Of course, he has come to say he encouraged them. Look, Alfred, let's be very, very, nationalistic over here this afternoon.
Right.
The environment, the level at which the environment is being destroyed is serious, and it's a cause for it. We should all be worried about it. But if a leader, a political leader, who is a leader of a party, play politics, try to throw dust into the eyes of the good people of Ghana, to create the impression that, he's fighting Galamsey, whereas his own people around him, powerful people in government are the one behind it, it's going to be a joke. As you know, from 2017 to 2020, when they took over, the fight against Galamsey has failed totally. Why? The reason is that the government kingpins are involved. Powerful people in government are involved. People were caught red-handed in the presidency, but the president refused to take action. This has generated to what level, and the level at which Galamsey has destroyed our forests, destroyed our water bodies. And if anybody should be feeling sad, I think the MPP, Nanado and his party, should bow their head in shame. They should bow their head in shame because they have caused this, and they encourage the people, and their own people are doing this thing. By the way, I think today I'll be very happy if my good brother Emmanuel will be able to tell me the missing excavators, the 500 missing excavators. If you can give us an update today on these excavators, we'll be very grateful. So for my open statement, it is the role of the government.
All
they
right.
play politics with it, and they have the campaigns behind this Galamsey. Thank you.
Okay, great, Paul. Thanks for those preliminary comments. Now, I am going to play a video of the president delivering his address at the opening of the dialogue on resolving Galamsey. So let's look at that video. When we come back, we would analyze what we are hearing from the president because he made some huge pronouncements. So let's go and we'll be back.
It is because I want us to have a consensus on a sustainable method of mining the minerals in our land. We cannot have one part of the political divide campaigning for Galamsey in the bush and the other waging an official fight against Galamsey in the open. We must demonstrate that we love our land and are capable of taking care of it ourselves. We do not need foreigners to campaign for the protection of Ghanaian land, our inheritance. We do not need special interest groups to campaign for the protection of Ghanaian soil, flora, and fauna. It is the land of our birth. It is the land we inhabit. It is the land that supports our lands, our lives, and livelihoods. It is the land we named Ghana at independence 64 years ago. And we, the Ghanaian people, must be its best protectors of partisan politics. We must, however, come to the understanding the small-scale mining and the requirement to do away with illegalities in that sector should be beyond partisan politics. Government has a major responsibility to this end, as we are accountable for the stewardship of this sector, as indeed we are of all other sectors of national life. I am determined to enforce the laws on illegal mining, no matter the subject, high or low. I will, however, not act on hearsay or mere allegations without more. I will not hesitate to act, though, where the evidence is hard before the police, and I will do so irrespective of the standing of the person or persons involved. That is the true meaning of equality before the law. I urge this colloquium to be bold and forthright in its deliberations. In other words, say it as it is. No subject or person should be above critique. Politicians, traditional authorities, policymakers, media, so-called influential people should all not be beyond your scrutiny. At the end of the day, what the Ghanaian people expect from this process are solutions which will assist in dealing with this endemic problem.
Paul, I think I'm hearing some feedback from one of you. All right, Paul. So you heard it. You heard it. The president. Let me see. I need to take this thing out. Okay, Paul, can you hear me? Yeah. So we listen to the president, and from what I get from
very clear.
Yeah, from what I'm getting from the president, he's saying the government is responsible, just like the government is responsible for all other sectors. He's saying people are, campaigning in the bush, promising Galamsey that they will be, favorable to them. That he is fighting it, but that fight is not resulting into anything. Do you hear any contradictions here? What did you hear from the president? Let me put it that way. What did you hear from what you just what
Mr. Musu,
from the president?
Mr. Musu, the president once again came to just speak a lot of lies to the good people of Ghana. Why am I saying so? He's telling us that he wants people to bring evidence. Were we not all in Ghana in 2018, 2019, when Anas caught on tape Charles Bissio and Andy Kankam, Andy also Andy Kankam, I forgot who is the secretary to me, the MPP regional chairman, caught them on tape. What did we see? What happened? What action was taken? All what we heard was that the CIA has led him. In that instance, Anas never reported the case to the CID. Anas took the case to the Special Prosecutor's Office. Anas provided all the evidence, the raw footage, to the Special Prosecutor. The CID was called in to do their dirty job as usual. All what we heard was that the CID has cleared him. As we speak, Charles Bishop is still working in the presidency. Should we take such a person serious? What evidence again does the president want us to submit to him for him to know or for him to be committed to this fight of Galamsey? The president has lost it. The MPP government has lost it. They are just throwing dust into the eyes of the people of Ghana. This avenue of the new fight that they are about to fight is just an avenue to make more money. They are just trying to deceive the good people of Ghana to create a president as if they want to fight the Galamsey fight. But I am telling you, Alfred, on authority, that there are serious people in government who are, powerful in government who are behind this Galamsey.
Okay.
It's unfortunate for the young minister appointed. The young minister was just used as a scapegoat. I can confidently tell you that this minister is not going to achieve anything until the powerful people behind the Galamsey in government, the likes of Untumi and the other people and the John Boydus and all those people are called to order. We can never fight this fight.
Well, they also make the same argument that, the NDC does the same thing. But I said I was going to, because we have three things we wanted to talk about today. I said I was going to get what your solutions are. But Emmanuel, you've also heard the president. What did you hear as a direction given to the group of people gathered there to undertake this dialogue?
Yeah, Alfred, thank you. So from my point of view, is a concerning president and a president who is frustrated. After putting all measures in place to protect the land of Ghana and the water bodies of Ghana, And then the actions that he was put in place, it didn't resulted the expected end. And now a sense of frustration for him, which for me, I agree, it has been a failure.
What actions are you talking about? What action has he put in place that did not
result? Ministerial operation in place, putting a vanguard in place.
This is a couple of machines. The machines back to the machines got mixing.
No. See, it is a tough decision. We lost a lot of vote. If we have to be political, we lost a lot of vote in the mining sector areas because of the ban on small scale miners, which was a radical solution, which didn't resulted that much, and which resulted into another extraordinary illegal mining. So a president of trust, I've done what I can do in my capacity, and here is the case: we have not achieved what we want to achieve, and we are still seeing the mess this is going on. So the president said, no, it is time for us, guys. We are blaming external forces. We are blaming people. We should not be blaming. We should be blaming ourselves, and that's what, for me, I'm sensing from the government. So whether you are MPP, you are NDC, you are a minister or a MP from the MDC government or MPP government, it does not matter. This is Ghana. Ghana, for us to save our water bodies. If we don't save it, it will not affect only MPP people. It will not affect only NDC people. It affects everyone. So it is better for us as Ghanaians. And that's what the president is meant for. It's not for a certain group or a certain ethnic group or a certain political party. It's for all Ghanaians to come together so that we can deal with this mess. So for me, my frustration here, we know what is happening. For me, we cannot pretend, and that's where my frustration. We pretend too much.
Okay, you are from Obuasi. Give us your solutions. Give us your.
For me, my solutions,
and then we'll go to
my solution. See, kicking the illegal miners out will not solve anything. Okay, let's have a best regulatory body for these miners. See, these miners in this community, they know each other. They know who is involved in illegal activities and who is doing the right thing. We need to get them on the table. We need to solve the issue with them. We cannot we should not criminalize small scale mining. For me, growing up in Obuasi, small scale miners have always been there. They contribute to more of the community development and they contribute to more of the economic development of the communities. So we cannot criminalize them and say that the activities is wrong. But since we are not paying attention or supervising the activities,
you're saying that because you say they need it's their livelihood. This is how they survive.
It's a livelihood. See,
and they know. I think the government at some point decided to teach them how to do beats or so.
But let me tell you the truth. We infiltrated political business into it. If you are doing small scale miners and you are taking one political group to be involved, then you are not going to achieve anything. Then you become more politically interested.
So what you're saying is that that the small scale miners are MPP guys, and therefore
I'm not saying that. So I'm breaking a point, a reference. Okay, I'm not saying that. So let's take my words that see, we need to be able to understand their role in economic contribution. The fact that they are making a lot of money. For me, living in that community, it's a livelihood. You cannot take it away from them.
So the government should just go ahead and regulate how it's done.
It's done.
One of the things we are not saying is that whenever they go to the forest and get all this destruction and rock cracking machines to undertake the mining operations that they do, when they do these things and they leave, they don't restore. First of all, they're not even paying tax. They're doing it illegal, so they're not on the books, and nobody is held accountable for restoration of those places. These are being destroyed. Cocoa farmers are now finding it more profitable to lease their land to people for mining than actually, doing cocoa farms. So
that's where the problem is. No, Alfred, that's where we have a problem. If they got allowances to do just a survey a land, or they have allowances just to do, not for digging, just to do some preliminary assessment, and they end up messing the land. What do you do with them? You let them go escort free because they are connected to a political party, or they are connected to an MP, or connected to a minister.
They're taking to court, but the courts are even not doing anything.
For me, that's where the frustration, and that's why, for me, I want us to leave that political expedited piece out of it and deal with them. So if they have been caught messing around and they don't have the right, even authority to do that, deal with them. Don't pretend that you don't know them.
Okay, let's go to Paul. Paul, our colleague here accepted that the NDC, the MPP actually dropped the ball on this one. We know the president. I would expect that in his speech that he would have recognized where maybe government hasn't done well, but he didn't. He's saying that the NDC is campaigning. And promising people that they are going to be lenient on illegal miners when they come to power. Is that what the NDC wants to do? Now, Paul, what do you think
Alfred,
should be done? What do you think should be done?
Alfred,
What are
the
the
issue over
solutions?
here,
Mhm.
the issue over here is that this president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his party, which we have my good brother Emmanuel being part of it, are not being truthful to the good people of Ghana. The question over here is, there are series of videos, audio-visual, not only audio, it's audio-visual. When we say audio-visual, what we mean by audio-visual is a video with voice over it. We heard Echo Ewusi, the vice chairman of MPP in the central region, with the then minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, talking about that they have to do this thing for a party to make money and get money for the party. There's a party for Pesika and all those stuff. That was the instance where we lost the 500 excavators. As we speak, nobody has accounted for the missing excavators. They took the excavators from the small scale miners, people with a legal license. And those excavators are being sold by this incompetent government to their cronies.
Right. So you think this
To be able
dialogue,
to win this fight, to be able to overcome this fight,
so you think this dialogue is not going anywhere?
to be able to win, this dialogue is not going anywhere until Nana Addo become truthful, until they account for the missing excavators, until they take suspicion and they can come on, until they take what's the name, Ekwa Ewusi on. They should prosecute these people and set example to the people of Ghana for them to know that the president means business, for them to know that the president is not joking, for the president to be telling us that, he needs evidence. There's a lot of evidence, video footage. If you remember, just about 2-3 months ago, Joy FM reporter in Kumasi, okay, went and to the forest where this is supposed to be a reserve forest. They went there and the Chinese people were mining. They are being protected by military people. As now, what is the status of that case? Nobody knows the update on that case. So you see, you can't be eating your eggs and be having it free. Until the president is faithful, until the president is truthful, until the president has come out clean to say that, hey, the people around me have to stop this thing, the fight is going to be in vain. And Alfred, I am telling you that they have serious senior government officials in the government who are behind this Galamsey. They are behind it. Until the MPP government and Alado step his foot down and say enough is enough, he's not going to allow this to happen again. I bet you they are just joking, they are just playing with us, they are just disturbing us, they're just throwing dust into our eyes. For me, for us to be able to fight this fight, it's commitment. And the commitment must come from the president. The president should be the number one person who should show commitment. He should be ready to prosecute his own. He should be ready to prosecute Charles Visio. He should be ready to prosecute Ekwa Ewusi. All those people were caught on tape. He should be ready to bring Professor Frimpong Boateng and his son, Jojo Boateng, to book, so that we will see that he is serious, so that we Ghanaians will know that he means business. Until he does that, he should forget about all what he's saying, because once again, it is propaganda, chief populist agenda, and just to throw dust into the eyes of the good people of Ghana. And unfortunately, if we don't take care, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we'll be importing water to Ghana. Alfred, thank you.
Alfred, you are on mute. Check your mute.
Alfred, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think I had myself on mute. So I was saying that you, Paul De-Sosoo, that is you saying, the dialogue is not going anywhere. Now, the president has to be truthful. Otherwise, this is not going anywhere. Mr. Ofori actually joined the show. Thanks for joining the show, Mr. Ofori. Mr. Ofori says, what is Ghana's EPA doing about this Galamsey issue? They're supposed to be part of the interministerial committee, and only God knows. This is a couple of elevators. And they keep writing letters, though. They keep writing letters to the government saying their concerns about the environment. And, I think it's causing a lot of, it's one of the reasons this dialogue is being initiated. But like we said, these dialogues always happen and they don't end up with anything. We really need action where the government will use its powers to deploy more effective way to. Yes.
Yeah, let me say one thing. And I know.
I think he said something else. So I think you can get legitimate license to mine in Ghana, right? I guess the system is not working then. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, you can get legitimate license. And this is the interesting part, Mr. Ofori. So there are people who have legitimate license and there are people who don't have legitimate license, and the government can't tell the difference between them. So even when the government was imposing the ban around when they took over and the issues came up and they were imposing the ban, they imposed the ban on all small scale mining, including both with legal license. So that is the issue. The practice is so widespread that you don't even know who has license or who doesn't have license. It's only in arresting them that you get to find that they don't have license. The majority of the time, they don't have licenses. So yes, you were going to say something, Mr.
Yeah, and I think Ghanaians, sometimes we are very funny a little bit. In account, they say something, Ghana for ye passem esro asem. Ye passem suru asem. So like we want the news, but we are scared. Because we know, and that's why for me, when we push it at the top level, it does not go anywhere. Someone is sitting in Obuasi and knows who is doing what in the community. And that's what my frustration is. We can mention names, and Paul can mention names, whoever been alleged or caught or audio, whatever. But we pretend that we don't know. The same people who are going to suffer from this water bodies being destroyed, the same people who are going to suffer from these farms being destroyed, the same people will come and cry, but they know every single soul that is doing what is wrong. And we sit there and watch and we don't say anything until something goes bad. Then we start pointing fingers. And for me, that's my frustration. And that kind of pointed out to Paul issue. We might not go anywhere. It will be the same. Mama comes, we will do the same thing. NDC comes, we will do the same thing. And we will sit there, and Ghana is what we are mocking ourselves with. See, that's why we have to wake up. We have to wake up as a nation. We have to wake up and put our party colors aside and deal with this forever. Water is very essential. You can go away without food. You might be okay, but water, we are killing the whole population. We cannot do that. And that's where we have to wake up. For me, irrespective of the party affiliation, we have to wake up and deal with this once and for all. And the same Ghanaians, and I can bet you, if the government take a drastic measures about it, the same Ghanaians will come and say, we are killing their life fluid. And the same life fluid is destroying our bodies, and we will protecting them. And now for me, that's when we become more hypocritical in our way of solving issue.
All right. So our brother, Dr. Edward Ofori, who is the managing director of Ako Radio, it's my boss. So my boss is saying, I hope I'm doing a good job, boss. My boss is saying, can we mine and protect our water bodies at the same time? This is sad. Just looking at this video, this is the reason I keep playing this video over and over to make it register. This is River Pra, the famous River Pra. This is River Pra. This is what we're doing to our water bodies, and it's getting out of hand. And there's so much interest involved in this. There's so much interest involved. Both political parties are complicit. like we said here today, we know people are doing this, and people were caught on tape, and the government hasn't done anything about it. I have another comment here from the ACO Radio family that says, Alfred, why is it that opposition parties always has antidotes to problems, but when they come to power, nothing happens? So that's a good question. We are going to end on this, but I'll let you two answer that question. The question that is coming from the ACO Radio family is that when we are in opposition, we always have a solution to these things. Like Paul De-Sosoo is sounding, he's sounding like an expert. That once NDC come to power, and we put Paul De-Sosoo as maybe, the Minerals Commission, or as a deputy minister somewhere in charge of mines, or director of mines, that's, these problems will go away with all the solutions he's recommending now. We hear all this things, but when they come to power, nothing happens. So, Paul, this is a good question for you. Let's end on this, and then we'll take a quick break, come back, and talk about the newly appointed special prosecutor. So, Paul, why do you have all these solutions? And I'm sure you've offered solutions when we were in when NDC was in opposition during the early 2000s, and then you came and same thing happened. And then Akufo-Addo even went ahead to put it in the manifesto, as you referred to, and nothing happened. So much interest is at stake. We are taking money from the Chinese to develop our economy. I don't know how we are even financing our campaigns. So Doc is asking a valid question. What is your answer to that? I think we lost Paul briefly, but Emmanuel, take that, and when Paul comes, I will bring Paul back to it.
And that's when the politically it becomes essential.
Right.
When you are, especially in football, when you are in the reserve and the match is going on, you'll be able to read which player is performing and which player is not performing. You are looking from the bench side, and you can see what is wrong. And sometimes when you are in opposition, that's you see the wrong side of it easily. It comes up, it jumps to you like, this is what is wrong. Okay. Then you want, because you want people vote, you put a measures in place, which can be a textbook measures, or it can be maybe industry recommended measures. But in reality, because you have not tested your recommendation on the ground, it might sound good. Okay. And you make all these promises.
But this is a whole country we're talking about. I think we have enough experts to actually deal with this situation.
I'm coming there. And then you come into power. See, and I know it's easier said than done. I'm being honest. It's easier to say in Nanado saying in opposition.
Why is it easier said? This is the environment. And like Dr. Fori is saying here again, when it comes to the environment, we need to take the politics out. It doesn't matter NDC or MPP. And few people cannot impact us this way. A few people cannot cause us to lose our water bodies. How are we going to survive?
I'm telling you, it will blow your mind when you see the kind of leaders in our communities who are stakeholders of illegal miners in their own community. It will blow your mind, and you will question, why would they sit there and be a stakeholder, meaning that they are getting something out of it, and it's under their watch, and they are the person probably have given permission for that.
So again, we want to
let's be honest. So you can sit in Accra. I'm pointing a point here. You can sit in Accra and make all directives, and I can be in Obuasi, and I can tell you those directives will never get anywhere. Let me give you one example. In NDC government, the same thing happened. Mahama was giving command that, okay, the concession that belongs to AGA. Let me give an example.
I don't think
I'm giving an example. This example,
I think it's more because of the benefits that are new accrues to the stakeholders. It's why we are where we are.
We will get frustrated, and I'm telling you, if we don't get to the bottom line, we will always get frustrated about what is happening. Nanado will get frustrated. Everybody in Accra will get frustrated, and the mining cities will be doing whatever they want. And it's this because we have allowed it. Because one, you are a political person. You want to go to that communities to meet the community leaders, right? You wanted to advocate for your goals and measures. And then it is election will always come. You will always need these people.
Let me bring Paul in record. We really need to move on to the next topic that we'll be discussing today. But I get your point. That you can sit in Accra and give all the orders you want. That is not going to amount to anything. That people wouldn't undertake the things you are asking of them. But let's also hear from Paul. Paul, Paul, can you hear us? Can you be part of? Okay, I think. Paul.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Paul. So
I can hear you.
we want to wrap up on this topic, right? And the question has been asked that you're in a position, you give all this fancy solution recommendations, but then you come into power, you do the same thing. And I'm saying that the interest to the political parties is just too much for them to make the laws work, and it's impacting all of us. So Paul, what would you be able to do if you were to be made the one in charge of solving our problems? How would you do anything different? You've not done it in the past.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just quickly, let's say do it in 1 minute so that I can wrap up. Yes, Paul.
Look, yeah, for me, this government has lost the fight. For this government to be able to be on top of this Galamsey issue, let's all get to the table. Let's all agree that destroying the water bodies is not the solution, because life is very precious. We should all stop the politics. The kingpins in this government, the strong power, the powers that be behind the government, who are behind these things, all should be brought to book. We should make it clear to them that they cannot destroy our water bodies because of their selfish interests, because of the money they need to take care of their party. Water is life. So therefore, we will appeal and we will call all stakeholders to be on board, both the NPP, the NDC, civil society, religious bodies. Let's educate the general public about the essence of keeping our environment clean. Let's educate the general public about the essence of keeping our water bodies clean. Let's educate them about the dangers involved. If we keep on doing this dangerous thing, in the next 15, 20 years, water will be imported to the country, and it's only the rich who will survive. The poor person in my village, Hajana Kopa, may not be able to purchase those imported waters. So we are using this platform to appeal to this government. No matter how super incompetent they are, we will allow this thing to go. We will not play politics with this. Let's face it. Let's face the fact. Let's speak to, those people who are involved to this illegal mining. Let them stop it, because the country need water. We need the water bodies. We need our forest. We need our farmlands. They cannot destroy it because of their selfish interest and selfish gain. This is the way I'll close.
Thank you so much. We will take a quick break, and when we return, we will go into our discussions. The other topics table for discussions, which are the special prosecutor who has been appointed, and then we'll also talk about the culture of silence that has crept into society, so that you and I, are not even interested in talking about some topics, because we know that, there are implications in having those conversations, or that we've witnessed people, journalists, suffered in our country because they dare to speak. We will be back, and we would have all those discussions. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that the Ghana Agenda is on, and my name is Alfredo Muzu.
Hey, this your girl coming all the way from the US of A, yeah, baby, aka Ya Bantam. And me di feel a buzzing pan and to see one virtue the money how Ghana mat other romantic. What's me sending provisions as a sutra credit Emma Ebusuya Fonia and the form one Ghana. And one is a www.ghanamat.com. And them would say, boy, a sharp connection. www.ghanamat.com. Let's try provisions in the credit. Na really Zankasa. I have friend numbers na screen. Ghana Mat ye crano.
All right, welcome back to the Ghana Agenda. Again, we just finished the segment on Galamsey, and we will now transition to the special prosecutor. There's a message from my big bro, Steve. Steve has actually delivered something to me. I'm so excited. And Steve, thank you. Only me and Steve probably knows about that. I don't know if anybody else knows. Anyway, so if you are a viewer of this program, stay tuned. We have something big coming up, and we'll be announcing that very shortly here. Now, Steve says, well said, Paul. So, Paul, Steve is a fan. Steve is enjoying the things you're saying. I have Miss Doro Aku says, I'm watching you live. All right. Welcome back again to the Ghana Agenda. If you haven't already done so, please share the links. Today we've been watched by a lot of people, and we are grateful. I want us to now transition to our second topic, which is we all know sometime last year that our special prosecutor, Mr. Martin Amidu, resigned. He resigned as a result of a corruption risk assessment that he undertook to assess whether the Ajapa gold royalty transaction has been devoid of, corruption. Let's put it that way. So he undertook a corruption risk assessment. He presented a report to the president, and I think in the process he felt like, the president try to influence him. And of course, Mr. Amidu with his, if you know anything about Mr. Amidu, he's not one to be influenced or, want to be coerced. So Mr. Amidu had to step down as a result of that report. We've covered that on the Ghana Agenda. We did 3 good episodes on the Ajapa story. If you haven't seen that, please go back and watch those 3 episodes and you understand exactly what we're referring to when we talked about the Ajapa gold royalty deal or transaction. Now, the law says that the president has to appoint another person in case there is a resignation. I think I have it here, and I'm just going to read off of that. It was actually published in. So here's the story. When he was nominated, this is the article that came. It says the Attorney General has nominated the chairman of the Electronic Communications Tribunal, which is Mr. Kissi Agyebeng, as the next special prosecutor. Okay, so he will be vetted by Parliament. If vetted and approved, he's going to replace Mr. Amidu. So we are expecting that vetting to happen. So who is this gentleman? I think, the letter that was released by the government. So it's attached here. But who is this gentleman? So this gentleman actually graduated from law school back in 2003 with an LLB degree from the University of Ghana. He has a master's degree, LLM. From Shillelagh School of Law, and also De-Sosoo University, Canada, and Cornell. Matter of fact, my understanding is that when he was in Cornell, that he was the president of their law review or so. So this guy came back to Ghana, practiced, actually taught in the Ghana University of Ghana Law Faculty for some time, and now is appointed to the position of special prosecutor. So we'll be talking about him briefly, but I see that my guests are already they thought we ended the show and they left the show. So let me take a quick break. Oh, you guys are here? Are you guys here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are here.
Alfred, we are here.
How can we leave the show once you're not talking about the special prosecutor?
Hey, Paul.
The special prosecutor, you guys ran away because we know how things are going on in Ghana now, right? So you've heard me talk on and on about this guy. No doubt about his intellectual capacity to do the job. Now, the conversation I'm hearing is that he's a very young man, and the president, looking at his stature in the legal fraternity, before even rising to the position that he is today as a president, that this guy is dead on arrival. He can do anything. That the president doesn't want him to, like, if he wants to do something and the president says no, he's toast. If the president would try that on Amidou, what makes you feel confident that this guy will be a successful special prosecutor? Now, I would hate to judge this guy before he ascends to the position. Why? We were all in this country when John Mahama, on his way out, appointed another very qualified individual in the person of the Auditor General, Daniel Domelevo. And, we had this same conversations. We thought Domelevo wasn't going to be effective against blah, 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 blah. But we also what happened to Domelevo. Now, then Steve is raising another one, which I'll put quickly on, and then we can jump into the conversation. Steve is saying, he's young and in the pocket of Gabi. My understanding is this guy is the personal lawyer of Gabi. Darko. We all know the influence of Gabi in our political space. I don't know for a fact that is true, that he's the personal lawyer of Gabi Darko. But if that is true, that raises a lot of questions. So, is this guy going to be effective? Is he dead on arrival? Is this guy, are we appointing a stooge? Or somebody who's going to be a stooge of the president?
Alfred, look, I totally agreed with all the summary, the brief introduction you just gave. Look, this person that has been floated around, Kissi Agyebeng, okay, is a fine gentleman. He's a fine lawyer. And the issue over here and the worry why people are raising issues over here is that, number one, this Kissi Agyebeng has no any proven record to show that he has the capabilities to fight corruption.
Right.
Number two, there is no any track record that shows that he's been involved or he's ready to fight corruption, and he's not a person that can be intimidated or that can be calmed down. Number three, as we speak, there are cases in the special prosecutor's office which he, Kissi Agyebeng, is a lawyer, is part of those cases.
Okay.
I can give you two examples. The case involving Anas and this Charles Bisio. That case is still hanging at the office of the special prosecutor. And he is the lawyer for Anas. So now that he is involved in that case, and he has been appointed to go and take that position, is it a conflict of interest?
You definitely have to recuse himself. But we are saying that the office of special prosecutor is not a one-man office, right? It's a whole institution. He doesn't have to be. Yeah, he has his deputies.
Alfred, whether I recuse himself or not, don't forget, Alfred, let's take this practical example. You are my friend. I'm your lawyer. I've worked with you for a long time. We've known each other. Now, I've gotten a position. And you think when your case come before me, even though if I recuse myself, you think I will allow justice to prevail? It's not going to happen. Number four, apart from being involved in some cases in the special prosecutor's office as we speak, he is also involved in the Ejapa deal. Not saying in a bad way, but he is the lawyer for Gabi Asare Darko. You know, Ejapa deal is a case that is hanging at the office of the special prosecutor. And Gabi's lawyer is this gentleman. So now that he's Gabi's lawyer, I believe he and Gabi, when Martin Abidu started investigating this issue, I believe he has taken, Gabi has sorted some counsel from him. Now that he's going to be a personal prosecutor, how is he going to prosecute this case?
But we are saying that okay, so
There are a lot of issues that surround him.
these are all issues that can come or be introduced at his vetting. Now, also, we can have him promise the country that when those matters that he's the party to, that he will recuse himself. We've seen, you and I in the United States, we've seen, the first president, Donald Trump's first attorney general.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work. This is Ghana. We are talking about Ghana. Look, this gentleman is going to pass through parliament vetting. They will pass him. But the question is that if I were to be him, with a lot of flags that have been raised by various, intelligent people in the society, I would have rescued myself from this position.
Right.
Don't forget, Martin Amidu has put a piece down.
I hate to doubt young professional Ghanaians. I've seen so many occasions where they've risen up to prominence or they've risen up and done the job as given. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and does a good job. Paul,
you see, let me make this statement.
Kissi is an Accra boy, so if I go blow on him.
Really? I know. He's an academician. I'm also an academician. But this is the case. I personally think this is a wrong choice because, look, if you look at his age, okay? If you look at his age, even if the president gives him an order, does he have the nerves to refuse it? Yeah. Look at Martin Amidu, the almighty Martin Amidu, who was fighting his own government when he was in government. Even him, he couldn't hold on. He couldn't hold on to the president that was coming from the presidency in connection with this deal. Right. The only way that Mr. Kissi Agyebeng will succeed if he takes the appointment is if he decides not to be, or if he decides not to investigate the Japa deal, or investigate any deal that involve Gabi, Kenoforiata, the president. If you take that off, that he's not going to investigate any case that involves these three people, then he can succeed. But if you think when he gets to the office and any case comes that involves these three people and he's trying to go into it, you should forget it. He's going to respond to Martin to resign.
Okay, so that's your take on our newly appointed special prosecutor, Mr. Kissi Agyebeng. Let's hear from Emmanuel Darko. Emmanuel,
Alfred,
the guy is qualified when it comes to what he needs to, but Paul is saying that he doesn't have a track record of a person you would expect to rise to such an office. That's the caliber of even Amidu couldn't succeed in office. How would he go against the president, especially if he's dealing with a case involving we all know the pseudo prime minister, they call him Mr. Gavi Darko. How would he, who is under or in Gabi's pockets per se, in other words, being a Gabi's personal lawyer on some issues, be able to prosecute Gabi? Yeah.
And Martin Amidu, when Nanadu make a decision to appoint him, we heard all sort of critics from the NDC camp. It was amounted to nothing, and now they are best friends of Martin Amidu for the work that he did. So for me, it does not shake. I'm very proud. For me, the first thing I'm very proud is seeing a young man being boldly nominated for this high office in this Republic of Ghana. I'm very proud as a young person and seeing such a young man being nominated for such a role. I'm very, very proud of it. That Mr. Agyebeng, yes, we can quick to criticize some areas of his. Even we have not even given him the benefit of the doubt, even to hear his side of a story and being tagged on certain deals that may. And I've read another article that you have nothing to do with Agyebeng, you have nothing to do with Gabi, The fact that he's a friend of Gabi does not disqualify him. Gabi is not a governmental appointee, or neither is it. You can say yes, he is a president, whatever it is. But at the same time, that does not be a qualification. Even it is not in the act of the special prosecutor that a friend of a president or a friend related to a president is disqualified. A Kissi even well qualified to be appointed as a Supreme Court judge. He qualified for it, irrespective of his age. That's where we should be proud of. This is when we think he cannot stand up for the president. For me, I totally disagree with it. Someone with 17 years experience called to the bar, who is a practicing lawyer, known even in the African realm and even a global realm, and thinking that he cannot stood up and defend the Constitution of Ghana. No.
Let's
Let me land. Like he can defend the Constitution of Ghana is not defending a president. It's two different things.
Lifetime Legacy is saying that there goes Nanado again. Thieves. In other words, and then in those terms, I'm not trying to call the president a TV or live television. I don't think that is appropriate to do. But I understand something in the sentiment is the gentleman is Lifetime Legacy is expressing there. It almost sounds like it's another one of those deals where they are putting the pieces together. You are putting a person in there so that all this, like, they are bringing a Japan back again. So go ahead.
Alfred, let's say there's some record straight. I think Emmanuel misinformed your listeners this afternoon about the NDC being proud of Martin Amidu's work. Nobody in the NDC, so far as I'm concerned, has said they are proud of Martin Amidu. In fact, when Martin Amidu was appointed as the special prosecutor, I was one of the people who said that he's not going to make it. I was expecting to resign because I know he cannot fight the fight. He was just sent there to do vengeance. They brought him in so that he can go after the NDC. Lo and behold, they thought Martin Amidu is the type of person that they can control. But you know what? It is on record. There is no way that NDC has praised Martin Amidu. If there's any such article, I want Emmanuel to put it on the show this afternoon. Number two, nobody is saying Kissi Agyebeng don't have the credentials. We know he's an astute lawyer. We know he's a fine gentleman. But we're saying that there is no any track record about him fighting, known to be a corruption fighter.
Let me interject. So being a lawyer for Anas Amreya is not enough for fighting corruption?
Mr. Emmanuel, my good friend, we are saying, and it's a record, that there is no any known record to show that he's a corruption fighter. That's what I'm saying.
And being a lawyer for a corruption fighter? No, I'm just wanting to make sure listeners get that point clear.
There's difference between he defending Anas. He's defending Anas in the criminal aspect of things Anas has done. People took Anas to court because they said he has recorded them without their consent. So that's a criminal issue they are dealing in court. It has nothing to do with corruption. So please let's set the record straight over here. It has nothing to do with corruption. The case that is defending Anas on in court or at the court is about criminal act. People think he's taking them or taking video of them, recording them secretly without their knowledge. So it's a criminal act. It is not about corruption. So please don't throw that into the ears of your listeners this afternoon.
All right, let's take a. Let me say. Go ahead.
Number two, I am saying that Kissi Agyebeng himself is involved in some cases in the office of the special prosecutor. How is he going to recuse himself from those cases? Look,
right.
The man has shown, or there's a lot of evidence that shows that he's the classmate of the Attorney General. How do you expect somebody he sat in class with? Will be arguing with that person in court? Do you think it's going to happen? It's once again family and friends galore. family and friends alone. That is what has been established. And Alfred, you know, these governments, they are so smart and intelligent when it comes to criminal acts. They intentionally threw the name into the public domain to see the public reaction.
Right.
Because they know that if the president has released the name, it is going to take a lot of it. They want to test the waters, and they've tested the waters, and you've seen the way the reaction is. I am saying the gentleman is a fine gentleman. He's an astute legal practitioner. He's an astute academician. He has all the qualifications. He's good.
But like I said, you know, we've seen this scene play out time and time again. But you are making some valid points, which is that if he is involved in issues that are before the institution is being made the head of, how does he recuse himself? And that is very important.
The question is that I need answers from Emmanuel. You see, nobody's against him. Nobody's against. And the last thing I want to say before Emmanuel comes in that this gentleman has no the raw power. Is he able to stop, or is he able to defile the orders of the president? He can't do that.
Right.
How? No. How do you make that allegation against him whilst you have not even taken the position yet?
Emmanuel,
we're drawing a conclusion, even not giving the person even a chance to even to act. In what capacity would you say the person cannot act against the president?
All right, Emmanuel, we have a message here from Agyebeng Halegbe. He's saying he's Gabby's personal lawyer. Let's face the fact. It's a 419 family government. And then the kids just running here. And then Aluku Sunday says, always Monday. Okay, that is not for us. There's a comment here again from Agyebeng who says, all the way live, this MPP Crow Chronic. So I think he's this person has to be an NDC person.
Definitely.
Making some really good comments. But then he says,
you're not giving me the time to talk about this.
No, is to lie and still mother serpent of corruption in this chronics. Okay, you have the floor, Paul. Not Paul. Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead and talk. I do have a video I want to play from Mr. Kennedy Japan discussing some things about Kissi, just to kind of give the complete picture because there's apparently an issue there as well. So finish what you have to say and then we'll look at that video. Yeah, go ahead, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I can't hear you. Okay. Paul, can you hear me? I think I may have lost the two of them. We'll take a quick break and then I'll see if my guests can join again, and then we would be back. So if you haven't done so yet, please share the link. We will be right.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization.
All right, welcome back to the show. My name is Emmanuel Muzu, and you're listening to and watching the Ghana Agenda. Today we discuss Galamsey, and now we are talking about the new prosecutor, Mr. Kissi Agyebeng, and we are assessing whether he would be able to, stand up to the president. He would be able to, investigate people who are his friends, people who sat in class with him, and all kinds of scenarios that we are looking at to assess whether he will be successful as a special prosecutor. It's a huge position. I've seen this happen in this country before, where people were given positions and they rose up to the occasion. So are we going to see that again in these particular situations? Paul De-Sosoo doesn't think so, but I think Mr. Emmanuel thinks, we shouldn't judge the book by the cover, that he's going to be very successful. So Mr. Emmanuel, you have something to say before you leave. I think you said you have to be jumping off because you have to get on another conversation somewhere else. So yes, tell us.
Alfred, and for me, and that's where we are prejudging the person without, and we are also accepting that he is competent, he is qualified to take the position. At the same time, we also doubting that he can do the job. Let's face the facts. You think the same thing that we thought. Oh, Martin Amidu, a crusader of corruption, fighting corruption. What happened? He ran away. Period. Someone who have a track record of fighting corruption on his own party and his own government even came and took the position and ran away. That one. What can we make
Martin Amidu resigned because of the culture of silence in Ghana. Because Martin Amidu was targeted. Martin Amidu was being chased all over. And that is why Martin Amidu resigned his position. In your own party, Kennedy Agyebeng has stated that Kissi Agyebeng is not somebody qualified.
Let me play that video. Let me play that video.
What qualification category are we using? Is it by the Constitution Act or what?
Let me play that video now.
Ask Kennedy Agyebeng.
Not a lawyer.
Investigation. Why do you quickly go out there to say, Mumbisa Kennedy Agyebeng, or no, me what do I gain? Apart from exposing him, I don't need anything from him. He's not my enemy, because enemy period. What do you say? And the other one point for my double tree, necessary no more baby. Empire we go criminal and evil.
Yeah.
One more. I'm lawyer. That foolish lawyer. Well, you're stupid. It's sister who has seen me. This is accusation of murder. Serious. And ugly too. He's an asshole.
All right, we don't want to listen to all the insults. Our Kennedy Agyebeng, can hear 2 or 3 lines from him without him insulting. But essentially, Kennedy Agyebeng has a problem with this prosecutor that has been appointed.
Kennedy Agyebeng and Alfred.
Ken has lived in this country with impunity. He's done a lot of things. Of course, I'm glad that, Kissi is fighting on the right side of that issue. As to whether Kennedy actually, took part in, the death of that journalist, I'm happy that Kissi would become the special prosecutor, and I hope Kissi, now in his role, can go after that case. So, very interesting development there.
You see, Alfred, you see the things I was talking about. I even forgot about this case.
Right.
We being a nurse's lawyer, and they are accusing Kennedy Agyebeng of murder, and I'm going to be in that office. This is going to be very neutral.
No, we are contradicting yourself.
You might let me land. I am saying that, Kissi Agyebeng is not capable to hold that position. He will be easily influenced by the de facto Prime Minister of Ghana. He will be easily influenced by the president and his brothers Look, there are a lot of, don't forget about the 2.4 billion currency that is missing, which the finance minister is supposed to account for. Do you think a special prosecutor can go into that case? The question is a big no. So for me, this is not going to get nowhere. He will be appointed and he's going to be in the office. They're going to use him as a cover-up to do their corruption act. That's what is going to happen.
All right, so that's what Paul says is going to happen. They're going to use him to perpetrate their corrupt act. I'm saying you never know.
You never know. It's true. You never know. You're going to do the good job.
Okay, also, let's quickly just go into the last segment of the show, which is the discussion about the culture of silence, which is something we've seen since the president came into power. We know that journalists, even menace Azuri, for instance, have to leave the country a couple of times. Anas, who has been, dropping videos almost on every, twice a year basis, has, gone into silence, sort of, not showing revealing anything. But there are things happening in the country. There are acts, corruption going on every day. Everybody's quiet because people are scared. We can't believe this is happening under the presence of, Nana Akufo-Addo. So again, what is your assessment of that? I want to take it first from Mr. Emmanuel Darko. You are MPP member. You are aware of how Mr. Akufo-Addo behaved when, he had a problem with the general secretary of the party. Is that am I getting that right? When he had a problem.
Yeah. And for Polafoko. And then
and it caused a little panic that this person expressed his ways of dealing with problem in that way, like those highest levels, caused these people to actually be sacked. And so it's like Nana Akufo-Addo really can deal with dissent, and it's showing, and it's caused a culture of corruption, a culture of silence. Gabi is saying, on the other hand, that it's a culture of intolerance, that there are a group of people, elites, who do not want to be challenged, who think whatever they say is superior, so they don't want to be challenged. And that is exactly really what is going on. Can those two things exist? Do we have a culture of silence going on at the same time as a culture of intolerant elites at the same time? And I'm putting that to you, Mr. Darko.
Yeah, and thank you, Alfred. And let's take the record straight. There's the silence for me is good for the country's sake. We need to speak up. We need to speak up what the government is doing wrong. Irrespective of whether intimidated.
Silence is good for the country. How can
no. Okay, I think
misbehave and
my
then you say
sorry. No, Alfred.
We should be silent.
Wait. I think my
sorry.
Because my sentence didn't add up.
It's true.
No. That's not what I meant to say. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. I think my sentence didn't add up there. So sorry. Okay. I didn't mean that silence is what is good for the nation. Speaking up is good for the nation, not the silence. So sorry. I think the sentence, the way I constructed it, probably didn't make sense.
No problem. Right, sir.
So speaking up is good for the nation. Nanado Kumpreko, he was not silenced by any government. Nanado and his people stood up against a government in the time of Kumpreko. So that's not a nature of the president that people should keep quiet if things are going wrong. Galamsey is going on. People are speaking up. The light issue, whatever you call it, either doom so or not doom so, is going on. People are speaking up. See, that's what we need as a nation, irrespective of your status in the society. If Nanado it might be intolerant on people's view, does not silence the people.
But he's not. What I say intolerance is not that he just doesn't take dissent, but He acts when you descend. Like,
See, under what circumstances?
let me take
No, I'm not finished. Even I've not finished my comment and my submission yet.
Make it quick. So
we have got to a level that the media is speaking. You see, for me, my concern is we have to be consistent. You see, last week we have done so. We talk about it and it's dead. This last 2 weeks, this week we are talking about Galamsey. Next week you will see it is dead. See, that's where the inconsistency comes from. We are talking, but we are not talking consistently. We are not pressured. For me, I want the government. For me personally, I want our government to be criticized so that we can break the 8. Because if the government is criticized, we will do the right thing. And when we do the right thing, the MPP government will stay in power for a longer. Because when we keep silent, that's what happened to Mahama. They might not like it. When people were not talking the truth to Mahama and thinking that he was winning the 2016 election and he was sitting in the Flight House and he lost the election surprisingly to him because people were not speaking up to him.
Well, here's the thing.
That is analogy I'm making here.
And I'm sure Paul is going to disagree with you and say
you lost
that's
analogy. I want people to speak for the government. See, we promised Ghanaians 2020. We promised Ghanaians 4 more for Nana, 4 more to do more. So if I'm not seeing the 4 more to do more, then I'm concerned. We need to speak up so that we can get Ghana where we want to get Ghana to, and so that we will be in government for a longer. We will deal with problems.
Not speaking up is the culture of silence. It's a culture of fears.
See, then we don't love Ghana. I'm telling you, then we don't love Ghana. We cannot let.
We all want to go home and sleep after we come and be loud. But when we being loud would cause us not to go home and go to sleep, then we will not go and be loud. That's what we are saying. It's a culture of fears. It's a culture that says you open your mouth, something will happen to you.
Chairman, let me tell you, late Chairman Lawrence, if he didn't silence Ghanaians, come on. You see, let me tell you. No, let me give you an example.
In doing it. Okay, Paul, what do you say about this whole culture of silence thing?
It's like Emmanuel don't understand what he's talking about, and he's contradicting himself left and right on this topic. Look, we remember as far back in 2016 when the campaign was going on. We all know Kofi Kumsin. Kofi Kumsin is somebody who grew up with Nanado, Haruna, Isiku. All these people are strong MPP campaigns. What did they tell us? They were all telling us that they don't think it is safe to bring Nana Addo as a president because Nana Addo will not be able to manage Ghana. Number 2, we have men of God. When Endis was in power, we have the big men of God, civil society, people in society had the will to speak their mind anytime they want. It got to a time that Pastor Mensa Otabil every Sunday was preaching. All his preaching was about the government, the excesses of the government. What has happened today? That's the question we are asking. Where are the Reverend Mate, the Nyasafwe, where is he? Where is Professor Adai? Anyway, he's in the government, gaining from the government, so he has kept quiet. The question or the things we are talking about is that, look, now in Ghana, when you talk, they'll come after you. And I can give you a lot of examples. Let's take the journalist that was murdered. Why was he murdered? Ahmed Swali was murdered because he exposed the Nyantechi case, which has the president involved.
Right.
Adeti, a journalist in Tamale, in the northern region, exposes a corruption deal between the then Upper West Regional Minister and what happened. His life was sorted about. He has to run to seek refuge in Accra. The then journalist in multimedia who went and published the 4th saga, Menace Azuri. When he published the 4th saga, people were happy. Nobody went after him.
Right.
But when he made a publication about the about vigilantes in the center of the city. They went after him. They made him to resign. They forced Joy FM to let him go. He got to a time that they had to take him out of the country, fly him. They flew him out of the country to South Africa because his life was sought after.
Right.
The oil communication officer, Sammy Jeffrey, was on air. They sent military men. Look at Sammy Jeffrey. Look at this. Look at his body structure. They sent 12 armed military men to go for him. Just recently, there is a journalist who was about to publish a case about a story about Peter Amewu. They went after that journalist and treated him badly.
Right.
So this is all the issues we are talking about. So Emmanuel don't even understand what we are talking about.
Right. So it is even gone into the highest levels where Sam Jonah, of all people, CEO.
When he speaks, they go after him. They are chasing him, attacking him left and right. Look, Ghana is retrogressing when it comes to freedom of speech.
Right.
This president has covered himself with the person as a human rights lawyer, but he is not. He is not able to take divergent opinions. In his own party, he hosted out a general secretary, Corporate Japan, Elafoko, Samiko, because they spoke against him. They were not thinking the way he's thinking. This is a gentleman who is a vindictive president, a president who is always ready to take people on, a president who has silenced the media. The media cannot even speak.
Right.
The people in media who were talking, and Sefakai and Co, they were very loud when the MPC was in government. Their voice is missing.
Yep.
Men of God, Mesa Otabel, Ajina Sare, missing them. They were all talking. Now all of them have come quiet because they are scared that when they speak, they will come after them.
Something will happen
This
to
is
them.
the culture of silence.
Yep. All right, I think we've lost Paul over there. Paul was describing all the people who are being impacted, people who used to speak, who are now silent, and it's out of fear for,
People are not scared. People are scared. People are not scared, my brother. People are scared to speak their mind. People are scared to say the truth to power. That is why you can't hear people talking. And if we say it, Emmanuel and his party will come defending it. Look, Ghana is retrogressing, and we pray that 2024, the good people of Ghana will do the right choice, take the right decision to vote back the NDC into power. And Emmanuel, I don't know if he's listening. He's saying that they are going to break the 8.
Right.
Look, Emmanuel, he knows and we know, and I know that they never won the 2020 election.
Right.
The Supreme Court has been silenced. The judiciary has been silenced. That is why the election was rigged in their favor. So let's wait. 2024 will come.
Right.
Some of us will speak because we are not in Ghana. We will speak the truth to power. They will not be able to come after us. But you know what? Ghana, the culture of silence should end. We want Ghanaians to express their freedom just as they did when John Mahama was in power. Nana is a traitor. He's a vindictive president. He's an autocratic president. And Ghana need to make sure that we crack and stop and speak out. I urge all people, all those people who were speaking in the 2012, 2016, we want them to speak now. Thank you, Alfred.
Paul, if you have food in your mouth, like they said, it's hard to speak. But also, Paul, we know that the Ghanaian, like Kwame Nkrumah said in the past, is not afraid. It's not intimidated easily. But I feel like, this president has found a way to intimidate us. And that's all the people who used to speak are no longer speaking. And I hear your call that all those people should stand back up and speak because there's so much going on that is not right in our society. Paul, I want to say
so much corruption, rot corruption in the system. They should speak up. Like the way they were speaking when NC was in power, they should speak up. We are begging them. We are pleading on them. And you should come and speak. And you in power now. Why you should come and speak?
Yeah, Paul said there's a four here, there's a four power. I can't even speak. So, Paul, I wanted to say a big thank you for joining the show today again and sharing your wisdom and your passion on the issues as you always do. We really, 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 really appreciate it. Next week we'll be coming back and we'll be talking about economic issues in Ghana, how to do it, how to develop the economy. We know that there are revisions or there are development plans being currently drafted for year 2022 and upwards for the various districts, and even the sector plans are being currently drawn. What role can we in the diaspora play? What can you and I do? If you're watching me and you sitting in the United States here, UK, wherever you are, how can you help? What are some of the things that you think should be included in those development programs or agendas for the country? We'll be having a special guest on the show who will be helping us break this down. So next week, whatever you do, please don't miss it. Join us on the Ghana Agenda again, and we'll be delving into the nitty-gritties of what you can do to build a better Ghana. Thanks for watching today's show. Again, my name is Alfred Amuzu. Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate it, and I will be talking to you in the background. With that, we will bring today's show to an end. If you haven't already done so, tell a friend who needs to watch this to actually join us again next week. Share the links to your friends who actually need to watch this so they can watch this episode and all the other episodes we've done in the past, which are all posted at Ghana Agenda Facebook page, Ghana Agenda YouTube page. Also, you can find us on ACO Radio's Facebook page. We are on Trend Africa. Tomorrow, there is Trend Africa's Maka show, which I'll be handling the political session. We'll be talking about some of the things we discussed here, in addition to things happening in the United States as well. And then we would discuss trending issues. I'll be joined there by the Royal Black Jesus himself and Cutie Queen. On Monday, catch me with Steve as we discuss other very important topics impacting those of us living in the diaspora. Again, thanks for watching the show. My name is Alfred Amuzu. This is the Ghana Agenda for 1st of May 2021. With that, I bid you a good weekend.
Hey, this your girl coming all the way from the US of A, yeah, baby, aka yeah, Bantam. And me the feel like boys in pan and to see one more virtue.